very good pure tank game out of Flame, and we jump into Champion Select and we're seeing pretty similar bans.
Yeah, and LGD actually ban away the Janna there from PYL. I guess keep it away from Cloud as well, but certainly a PYL special there on the Champion. Got banned as well from OMG. Sun still in the top lane, by the way, so going to continue. They had a decent game on Gnar, and again looked good as a somewhat resourceless looking top laner, but OMG could just never get it going.
Yeah, and it was more about Uzi's positioning than Sun in that game, to be honest. He was a big frontliner. Him and Loveling, they were doing their job really admirably. Cool, he took a while to get going, and Cool and Uzi kind of swapped roles. Uzi, fantastic early game, was really rolling. Cool, very far behind. Cool in the late game, doing good damage off the back of team fights. Uzi went crazy, and I don't actually know what happened. Maybe a little bit of a brain phase, but we'll see if we can piece it back together.
Yeah, cannon banned again there for OMG, so I have to think that's again another top support, possibly mid flex ban there coming through. LeBlanc banned again away from Cool, so still to respect. It was our last game as LGD's third, I believe. I wonder if they'll do it again.
Yeah, I hope that we do get to see Cool play a little bit more of an assassin. Ari with Luden's Echo is so strong on this current patch, is able to dive in there with the W, which does a lot of damage at the moment, and Luden's Echo and blow someone up.
Yeah, Sejuani banned on the blue side though for LGD, so don't want to first pick it, but don't want OMG to have it. And OMG probably going to ban Rek'Sai in this situation would make the most sense, but OMG have plenty of options to choose from.
Yeah, there certainly is a massive list of champions still outstanding. I'm looking at you, Maokai, along with the likes of the Ari still being available, Rek'Sai. Gragas is a very contested pick at the moment. They really do, on the red side, have a good couple of picks, and they ban away the Kalista.
I actually quite like that because it just opens up more of the champions that you were mentioning there, so OMG more likely to get two of the strong champions that give LGD only one. Uzi's Kalista is great, Imps is fine as well, but I think OMG just, you know, Uzi can function on another carry. Let's just ban away a champion. It's sort of in the middle as far as power goes.
Yeah, I certainly can see where you're going with that one. I just think that Uzi definitely prefers it over Imp.
It's Flame hanging out on the bleachers, cheering on his team. Cheerleader Flame now. I mean, he played great. He's smiling. He should be. Yeah. Had a good first game. Picked up a win. Now going to get Akon in and watch him lose and be sad.
Yeah, no, I don't think Akon will want to lose this game. I think that he will want to get one of those tanks himself. Actually goes back to the Rek'Sai at the last moment. Not sure if I agree with that. I think there are some champions that do similar to what Rek'Sai does. I don't think anyone is better than Maokai in the current meta in the top lane.
Well, we'll see if OMG do want to take it. Have to think that Sun, if he's going to be in the top lane, certainly got some games on Maokai, but they're highlighting two champions that certainly Cloud is known for, and that would be just fine for Sun if they want to take them, but we'll see what they want. They lock in the Thresh for Cloud, so that's already a big champion for him to play, and Sun maybe just thinking, can I play Maokai? Have I got enough practice? I'm subbing in for the top lane. He thinks he does. He's going to take it away.
Yeah, they take it away. So a very beefy 1-2 punch already coming out of OMG. They also have good pick potential in the mid game. So I am now very interested to see the Yari come through, because you've got a Thresh. You've got all of the initial CC that can come through from Maokai. And oh my God, PYL, please no.
No. We'll see what happens here. Has already brought it out once, the Bard. Don't know if we'll be seeing a repeat performance here, but LGD again, maybe want to have some fun here. They've certainly been very jovial in some recent games, but they'll flick through a couple of picks. Oh my God, the Bard's locked in.
So stealing a line from Atlas, Pastry Time, we are going to go on a journey.
We are going on a very magical journey indeed. Spawn Hecarim, the takeaway from Akon though, so a bit more of a standard top laner, great against the Maokai, and look at Godby. Looks like it's already laughing.
You're going to have a rainbow pony going through a magical journey. This is going to be great.
I mean, you talk about Hecarim flanks, now it's even easier to flank.
Yeah, exactly right. You can go through walls and crazy stuff.
I do like that Akon's the one that gets the teleport smite carry champion, and poor Flame had to play Maokai, but it was open. He had a great game. We'll see what OMG want to take away. Cool looks very unhappy with everything. Uzi's gonna, can I please do this? He's smiling. He wants to play Vayne. I like the Gragas pick. I think Loveling actually played it quite well here, so wouldn't be too surprised to see it. They're going to take Gragas, and Uzi, I think his analyst is telling him no, but his body tells him yes, it is Vayne.
Well, the thing I actually like about the Vayne pickup here is the fact that Bard, he's not going to be in lane that much. He's roaming around the map, so Uzi actually has the ability early on to get pretty close in the 1v1 versus the Hecarim, and in the 2v2, well, there's not really going to be a 2v2 because we saw PYL already. He doesn't spend much time in lanes.
He likes packing up in general as far as movement goes, but now Bard even like flavorfully gives him a reason to leave. See if a Cassidy know that picks up picks for LGD. Imp, I like the Sivir here. It works well on the comp, enables Kassadin and Hecarim quite nicely. And Imp, after a big hard carry performance on Twitch, going to take a step back and much more of a utility champion this time around.
Yeah, so a really big mid-game focused team this time around coming for LGD. I honestly don't know when Bard's going to be strong, so I'm just going to throw him in the mid-game pool as well. Pretty safe. But they've got the Rek'Sai, excels in early mid. Hecarim, once it gets to Trinity Force, probably doesn't get much stronger than that until 6 items. Not to mention Kassadin with all the mobility. Mobility lends itself to mid game very well, but it is Cool's Ahri.
Yeah, and this is a great pick here. It was banned away in the first game, but Cool going to try and show up GodV, I think. GodV had a great Orianna game in game 1, and Cool's going to answer right back with Ahri.
And I love the OMG team comp. They have the 4-man unit, very good at split pushing, good at forcing people off turrets, and then Uzi, he can just run around the map and look to 1v1. Unless he runs into Acorn, really, he's going to have an okay time.
And the nicest thing about, I think Bard in particular here, is that it's probably going to be a lane swap, maybe even end up as a 1v1 in the top lane, maybe with the top lane, and maybe even with both AD carries. Supports can leave and Thresh, very high impact. Cloud's a great roamer, and Uzi, when we've seen he can get aggressive freezes in the 1v0 lanes, he just goes off as far as farm. But we'll go through our matchups. Hecarim Maokai to start things off, and Rek'Sai Gragas in the jungle.
Yeah, and Rek'Sai and Gragas, they kind of do the same thing. They traverse terrain very well. You see, it is the Kassadin versus Ahri matchups. It's like we come full circle back to the start of the season. And Imp versus Uzi is going to be Sivir versus the Vayne this time around.
And last but not least, or perhaps in this case, it is PYL. He's back on the Bard, and Cloud's got one of his best champions in Thresh.
Yeah, exactly right. And thank goodness there is not a Cho'Gath to eat everyone coming through the magical journey this time around, because last time he took his team on a ride with him and then got yelled at really loudly.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here in this game. But LGD going back to some interesting picks. I actually think apart from the Bard, it's pretty standard LGD stuff. And PYL, come on, man, it's the roaming support. He just wants to play Bard.
Yeah, exactly right. And you need to see if you can make it work. I really do think that there is a place for Bard in the meta. I think it is with the Smite Teleport and maybe a more immobile jungle that you can help set up ganks with. He can really get people into some very cool positioning with that magical journey.
Well, we're going to find out what sort of magical journey we're going on today as we're about to get onto the Rift. And welcome back onto the Rift. LGD versus OMG Game 2. LGD actually up again, but OMG, massive 5-man stack. Flash knock up there into Imp, and the death sentence just short.
Yeah, so they're able to get Imp's Flash level 1. Bard putting down all the pain early. You see him gallivanting away. Will be caught out probably.
Yeah, tumbled skilled early for Uzi. The passive helping here at level 1. Loveling still chasing in Cloud. Maybe going to find another hook just for harassment purposes. Dodges the Q, does Cloud, so not going to get tethered to a wall. And OMG going to get some wards down, looking for the swap for Vayne, you have to think.
Yeah, so extremely deep vision coming through all over the bottom half of the map, being mirrored a little bit by Rek'Sai, who's just chilling out at the red buff, asking for some help. And obligingly, Acorn will come over.
Yep, gonna get some vision down there. Acorn does not have his trinket, unfortunately. Just Kassadin left for LGD, so can't quite get the vision down. Have to think they've already suspected the swap. Sivir's actually up in the top side, so you have to think that they are going to get the swap here. But even in some sort of 1v1, as long as Uzi gets a safe lane to himself, even against the Sivir, he'll be just fine.
Yeah, Uzi's going to be spotted. This is a very bad path to take into the lane.
Oh, just going to live, though. PWL doesn't go through him, and Cloud's going to join the top side. The buff is getting stolen away, but Uzi somehow gets away with that.
Yeah, and that was weird.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, the weirdest thing is, with the way that the jungle now works out because of the swap, I guess both lanes swap, but LG are going to be the ones that end up with control of the top side of the map.
Yeah, exactly right. So this is a 2v2, and yet they're able to steal away the buff. They're going extremely early for a gank. Uzi as well as Cloud, they know something is up.
PYL.
They've moved very far away.
PYL only level 1, unfortunately, so we can't go on a magical journey just yet. But that's a big gank coming through. 4-man gank. Actually make it. No, 5, not quite. Kassadin's in the mid. Uzi going to pop the heal early. Flash uses well. Massive flash knock up there from TBQ. The dive comes in. Hook lands not quite from Cloud. And OMG get away.
Every summoner spell now burnt in the bottom lane. So what they got early with that flash on Imp is now completely gone. And they didn't really lose that much for it because Hecarim, he's level level 2 as well as the Maokai going to just be able to teleport into that bottom lane.
Yeah, and Uzi has to be so careful here in the lane, even though Bard doesn't have the best lane pressure. If he gets caught by a stun and needs a boomerang blade there from PYL, he's going to rack up the damage quickly, and he's completely zoned off the wave right now.
Yeah, so Bard, especially with, he's got some low base auto attacks, but as he picks up those meeps, I think, able to get a little bit more harassed through. So we'll see if he does go for a little bit of a wander to start collecting those over the map.
Yeah, unfortunately needs to get the chimes to power up the meep, so we'll have to go on a bit of a journey at some point. That's sort of Bart's thing. He is a roamer, but right now PYL sticking in the top side.
Yeah, so they've got a big push in here. They're just freely harassing Uzi, although PYL just took a little bit too much harass there. Sets down a health. Wait for that one to power up.
Yep, some spare food there. Health hanging out in the brush is leveling.
They go
We'll come down to the bottom lane. Yeah, they might look for a dive onto Akon-san. Gonna start it up. Good levels here on the Maokai. Twisted Advance following in now. Loveling gonna tank it up. Knock-up coming through. Damage not quite there. San's still tanking, but Akon might just chase him down. That's gonna force San to flash, and he will get first blood.
And that was an ugly play coming out of the OMG top laner. Went the wrong way. If you're on that side of the turret, just flash back into your lane. Don't go towards the jungle. Would have been even worse if the jungler was there for a counter jank, and Akon just saw it coming.
Yeah, gets the first blood, almost donated to him here in this situation, and the Hecarim, who could potentially have been held down in this situation, at least early on, given all the swap that's happened. I guess maybe not with the standard lanes, but Hecarim off to a good start, never a good sign.
Yeah, exactly right. And the funny thing is, Maokai actually does really well against Hecarim with the ability to heal up whenever Hecarim is spamming that Q. It wasn't ever really a threat for that lane to get really far behind, so going for an early dive just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and the pressure really is on the top side after that big gank. No revisit here from LGD, but they don't need to. Uzi's already going to start falling behind. He's can't play aggressively at all without the summoner spells available. Just has to get whatever farm he can, and Imp has done a good job denying him so far.
Yeah, Imp stacked this wave, but he missed 3 CS doing it, so a little bit of a misplay up there, but he will get the early advantage, and they'll continue to harass under turret.
Yeah, and Cassidy also winning the mid lane matchup as well. Been a while since we've seen it, as PWL does get death sentence there by Cloud. Going to get ignited, flush out there, but too much damage coming through. Heal being used as well. Uzi wants it so bad. Ignite doesn't quite get it. Good double binding, but Cloud gets the kill. Loveling's here as well. Going to land onto Imp, and Imp gets the kill. Now Silverbolt's proc doesn't complete. Loveling moving in, gets the chilling smite. Cloud going to move him, but he actually might die here. Has to maybe auto, but Loveling gets the kill.
Yeah, Cloud, a very over-aggressive play there. You also have to say the same about PYL. I think he thought he was dead to the Ignite, turned back around, and then ended up falling to an auto attack. But in saying that, Cloud picked up the kill for his team as well as Loveling, and it was Imp that picked it up on the side of LGD, so probably more worthwhile gold on the LGD favor, even though it was a 2-for-1.
Yeah, and as we move back into mid lane for a little bit now as well, I have to ask you, Spawn, again, it's been a while since you've seen the matchup. Kassadin winning so far. Is this how it's supposed to go in the early stages?
Kassadin just is a very strange matchup. He's kind of what old Ari used to be, where you can just call everything a skill matchup. Ari now has some very good matches since she's been changed, but with the way the shield works, with how much, I guess, durability Kassadin currently has, he really does need to be bullied more by auto attacks, and it just doesn't look like Cool's been able to get that done. No,
and again, you can see Kassadin just kind of unharassable at this point. Goes in, good charm will save Cool from potential all-in there, but level 6 is hit for Kassadin, and Godvy's really turning it on now.
And the thing about the going aggressive is means he's going to go extremely quickly. It is a little bit more of a rift. Ooh, 1v1.
Yeah, Imp in trouble, but Cloud going to make it a 2v2. Great spell trip with a hook. Lands inside. Cloud sets it all up, and Uzi going to look for it, but TBQ finds the knock-up. Loveling here a little late, and LGD going to keep chasing in. Teleport even coming through, but Akon, he's got his ulti. Cloud gets knocked up, ulted there, and PYL gets the kill.
Yeah, with the assistance of the little friends as well. I think it was actually an auto attack that came through and cleaned that one up. PYL goes on a magical journey.
Yep, going through, trying to zone out Loveling, but can't quite find it. Going to keep moving in. Imp goes on a journey as well, wants to join his friends, and actually going to kind of proxy the wave as a result.
Probably just needs to learn the interaction well enough, so he's like, I'll just go through for the sake of it. Oh, that's what that ability does.
Yep, now he knows. He's like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. Not following you ever again, PYL. But, you know, Bard's actually stuck in lane for a while. It's been a bit awkward that he hasn't been able to collect the charms and do roaming, but at least he's shown presence in the lane, and that's put Uzi very far behind.
Yeah, it certainly has, and, you know, actually is fairly impressive in this lane. It was a very good gank coming through, and we're getting pointed out how much Cool is losing this lane by in the mid lane. whilst Cassinan, a little bit of a skill matchup, there's no way that Cool should be 20 CS behind at this point in the game, and it's just better play coming out of Godfrey.
Yeah, I mean, we had an isolated mid lane from all the swapping. Attention was mostly top and bottom, I guess, here. So, you know, they've been able to play it at 1v1, and Godfrey certainly won the early stages of the lane. Even Uzi's pretty dramatically behind as well. Now catching up with his comeback in, but doing a bit of thrift shopping there. Just double longsword Dorans and Boots one, getting whatever AD he can right now.
Yeah, exactly right. He'll go into that Cutlass, of course, early game, and the impressive thing about Godfrey is understand that he's started to win the lane, so he's gone away from the Catalyst to Protector. He's no longer just trying to go even with the Cassinan. That's a very much go even Cassinan build. He's grabbed the blasting one. He wants to start dominating with some AP, and you can't really blame him. He's still 20 CS up.
No, can't at all here. And Imp also moving back. PYL will rejoin, going off to collect some nearby chimes, I think. But he returns almost level 6, actually. So could see PYL's Bard ultimates come out. We saw a couple of choice ones in the last time we saw his Bard. So we'll see if he's improved the skill at all. Oh, Hook's actually landed in the top lane, though, so we have trouble there. Could hear that sound effect as PYL now going to be the one under effect. Uzi going to get initiated on the good condemn moves. PYL back with him, running in there with the ultimate. Cloud forced to get off with all. Imp might just land it up. Boomerang Blade, good flash there from Cloud. Keeps him alive, but LGD winning the lane, and PYL going on a journey, just missing the Q into the wall.
Yeah, so not able to get it, but the flash in.
TBQ finds it, gets it with the smite actually there, and Uzi, couple of auto trades here and there, but can't do anything in the top lane. San's joining in, but the tower's dead, and PYL gets it, might actually be under attack. Bud has to be careful. Imp's zoning out Uzi, though. PYL will go down, and Cool's joined in, gets the kill. Uzi gonna go down, no! Condemn keeps him alive for a bit longer. Loveling now joining in as well. Cool ripping people apart, gonna get the kill onto Imp. Already gets a double. Godfrey's joined in now as well, though. There's Rexar getting the kill onto Gragas. Now they have to run away, but Cassinan really wants to go back in. Sun gonna get low here. Uzi with the turret shield might be okay. Out of mana, going very aggressive back in, and a massive fight and a huge trade in the top lane.
And this is one thing where our new teams will learn about Cassinan after his slight changes, that you do not go into consistent fights against him. Although good flash bind.
Sick flash charm there gets him. Follows up with the orb, and Coolzari still good.
Yeah, still really good now. 3-0-0 after that team fight. So what he was struggling with in lane, he more than made up with in the first little skirmish. But people stacking on top of the Cassinan, that's what we want to talk about, because you saw how many Rift Walks came through in that set, that little skirmish, and it's just the damage continues to stack up. And with the max mana build coming out, it'll be the roller into probably Athene's Unholy Grail. He can just do it for days.
And you can see PYL starting to roam now, has the Moby Boots and a Sightstone in his happy place, you have to think. Now roaming around on Bard.
Little bit of a different relationship coming
yes.
through.
Quite a bit different. Nothing like Imp and PYL in the top lane, which is very loving.
Exactly right. And we see PYL actually in the bottom lane. He's still doing a fair bit of laning for a roaming support, trying to line up the wall stun coming through, sweeps out a ward. One thing I will say about Bard, probably has the coolest new auto attack animation. Just looks like he's brushing across.
It does. It's very peaceful to
is.
play Bard. I think that's what PYL is really enjoying. And there's a lot of comfort picks here in the game for both sides, actually. So maybe it's just, you know what? We won a game up already. Everyone just, play champions like. We'll take it slow, and PYL just on the Bard. I mean, traditionally he's played music. Maybe just going to put them all to sleep. Very lovingly.
Oh, just misses there. Thought one of the creeps was going to die. Of course, it goes through a couple. The ultimate!
Yeah, Tempered Fate comes down. Now TVQ lines it up. Huge double knock up in there as well. Cloud under threat will go down to Imp. Now Sang going to join in as well. And we joked about it last time, but PYL's Bard mechanics back on point, and Sun nowhere to go. Going to get knocked up again by the Rek'Sai. Gets bound into the wall, and Imp gets a double.
And he's making me a believer pastry time. That was a sick play, and you couldn't have done it on anyone but the Bard. Just keeping him there, the double knock up, making sure he stunned them both into the wall afterwards. What a great play coming through here, and Acorn, he's got Uzi scouted.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's got the challenging smite. Does challenge him now as well. Boxing back with a devastating charge. Actually, Uzi going to go aggressive there. Acorn couldn't find the 1v1.
Yeah, he was waiting for him to tumble in the minion wave. He was hoping that Uzi would get really greedy and try and tumble and take that one. But a dragon started up. This will be contested.
Yeah, Loveling's here. Actually, he's going to go in for the smite. Can he find it? No, TBQ secures it there. PYL, magical journeys away. Loveling's like, I do not want to follow you.
Yeah, he's like, I will not take that path.
No, wrong.
Wanders back into his jungle instead.
And I have to agree with you. That combo down the bottom, I wish we could get a replay. That was absolutely sick. When you looked at Bard's ult and what it does, that's the sort of thing we expect to see. And that was on-point initiation by PYL and the rest of LGD.
Yeah, and you think what other champion from that range can do exactly what Bard just did? And there's no answer to it. No one else can do that kind of thing. Morgana probably has the most similar ultimate, but you need to be right in the middle of their team to get it done, and they can still walk out of it. This is a little bit of a cast time, and then instant. Like, you can see where it's going.
Just think about LGD's comp actually with the Bard in it now that we kind of reevaluate that last little play. You got two good abilities to put in there. You can run in Hecarim ult, you can run in Rek'Sai for a knock-up. You can set up Kassadin to charge up Riftwalks while the stasis is going on and then jump them in. And Sivir gets everyone in range so that if you long-range Bard ulti, everyone catches up in time to CC them.
And that's what I was going to say. The main complaint about Bard at this... Wow.
Yeah, good shot there, but Imp gets tagged by a Trump. Death sentence there, so Loveling joins in and cool. Another kill, his fourth, I believe.
Yeah, that wasn't one of Imp's better plays coming through there. He was caught way out of position and made pay. They're going for a 1-3-1 split push, but now TBQ, he's being caught out of position.
Yeah, has to be careful. Tunnels away, takes a tower hit, but should be safe here. Bard not quite in the area to send him on a magical journey, but everything will be all right for now. And cool, just going to rejoin the area. Blue buff now on Ari, 4 kills and a quick Athenes.
Yeah, so he's really in control of the mid lane now. Cool, pushing in, probably will even be able to take the turret out. Although PYL, he's flying in there.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to face check any CC. He does even just take a quick orb of deception, and quite a big chunk of damage comes through as a result. We'll defend the lane while the rest of his team is absent here, and we'll catch up eventually as they move back into their lanes. And San actually going to be the target, apparently.
Yeah, so they're waiting for him to show himself. I think San has a very good inkling someone's there, but they will still be able to go in on this.
Yeah, and then they're ready to go. They have the ward. TBQ follows in. Chilling Side does come down. Knock up through there as well. San forced to flash away. Won't chase, but they get a summoner spell.
Yeah, so he used the Righteous Glory. Really patient play out of San to not go in too deep there. Doesn't die. Gets a summoner spell, but that was a lot of time invested for not really much return because it is a Maokai. He'll be completely fine.
Yeah, we'll see Imp getting towards his Infinity Edge. Almost done there. Uzi lagging behind a Blade of the Ruin King here. Would have liked to have finished up by now 100 gold off at this stage, given that he's got 800 gold in the bank, but brutally far behind in CS to Imp, who's got 3 kills and 3 assists as well.
Yeah, so Imp doing much better this game than Uzi. Uzi, of course, dominated the early game last time around, but the roles are kind of reversed. Imp on a more early game focus carry, Uzi on that late game hyper carry.
Oh, more love. Maybe that's why POA is playing Bud. He just wants to share the love. Everyone needs to go on a magical journey together. Magical journey of life, Spawn.
Yeah, but and if we keep going back to the Bard, the Sivir makes a lot of sense with it, because if we've seen one thing is that maybe it's not always in the best position. Some Bard ultimates you really do have to throw from quite a ways away to get it in the optimal timing. So Imp really is going to do a good job of getting his team in there. Not to mention the fact that as soon as you come out, you've got this Hecarim that just wants to get all up in your grill. Really is going to make it so that they really can layer it through.
Yeah, I mean, just even, you know, getting people out under the Bard ulti when it's being thrown in as well. It's just a bit of extra movement speed when they're setting up highly positional ultimates like that. It's very valuable to have as TBQ actually going to get knocked up on a Loveling.
That was a 3-man Bard ult. Come on, TBQ.
Not quite lined it up yet, but maybe going to go in for it again. Could potentially line it up there. ProSeeker will find them. Just some wards being cleared out, though. 2 Orin turrets actually up for LGD. Looking for actually a hook landing there onto TBQ. Does go back in, force the tunnel out, and LGD very safe, very solid here. And now everyone goes in. Going to go in massive. Cloud gets chased down. PWL gets another kill. Now Acorn diving in the back as well. It's forced to ulti away. Bard ultimate's lined up. He actually got out from under it, but OMG is still going back in onto Imp now as Loveling dives in. Cool. Very threatening as well. And a massive kill there for Godby. Gets one, but he's too far in now. The tower does go down. Godby getting chased down, but Uzi can't quite get him as the heal comes through there, saving that Kassadin's life. And LGD, they get all 3 out of turrets and 2 kills.
Yeah, 2 for nothing as well as a turret. Fantastic play coming out of LGD, and it's just the Kassadin. He's Riftwalks on such a short cooldown at the moment. He's able to get in and out of these fights. Not to mention the fact that TBQ, he's playing another fantastic game, this time on Rek'Sai. He's an absolute monster already, 3-0-5. He's got the Ninja Tabby for a bit of extra tank stats, as well as some team support coming through from that Aegis of the Legion really is going to supplement what is already a very powerful mid game.
And we talked about one of TBQ's biggest issues on the team has been consistency for him. He's either very good or just kind of a little average. And this series especially, and even in just the last few weeks, he's looked very strong from the jungle, really improved. And the whole team has kind of come together with him, and everyone's more of a standout player now. It's not just these big stars like Imp and Akon that we have to look to. LGD, again, looking to play themselves into form, moving into playoffs, and all of a sudden the team looks scary.
Yeah, definitely. And I think arguably at the moment, you look at Godvi as maybe the big carrier on the team. Imp's definitely playing well, but the pool seems to match him.
Cool, going to dive in though. PYL does get the slow into Loveland, but he's going to get knocked out. Hook there is on. Uzi gets the kill. Very good gold to get onto, and Cool still chasing in. Bit of a movement speed buff there as Imp still getting aggressed on. Loveland going to catch up, gets it, Chilling Smite. Charm lands point blank there, and Uzi gets a double.
Yeah, so Uzi finally getting going in this game, and if there's anything you don't want to do, it's let Uzi get a little bit fed on the vein, because we've seen it before. Boy's got some sick mechanics, and he loves playing this champion. They'll push in, also take a turret, so they return the favor. Yeah, 2-0 trade.
I mean, I look at OMG's lineup here after that game on loss, and I think all they wanted to do, if they were going to lose, is lose on comfort champions. Go back to basics, give him the Vayne, give him the Ahri, even Cloud on Thresh. Everyone from OMG, I guess with the exception of Sun, who's just got a very solid champion, has signature champions here, especially in their history. So, you know, they've gone back on comfort, and it's made a big difference so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Magical Journey can come through here. Nah.
Bard ulti on the Dragon, actually. They're going to try and line up a steal. Oh, very good setups there from PYL. But unfortunately, we do have a temporary pause, it feels like.
Yeah, but the Golden Dragon was pretty spectacular really cool to behold. I want one of those things. And you see, once again, no one else can do that. That's a Bard-only special.
That is a Bard-only special, so we go back into the fight. Very messy right now here. Not too sure what's been going on. We do pop back, unfortunately. Seem to be having a couple of problems here and there, but nothing too major. But the Golden Dragon, it was really sweet.
Yeah, I really like that one coming through there. And that's something that I guess is underexplored in Bard's kit, is the ability to secure objectives like that. The Baron, the Dragon, you can really, I guess, throw people through the loop. Because if you're running these compositions that rely on taking them very early, you can really just muck those things up. And so far, having a fairly solid game. I
mean, it's a pretty well-named ability, Tempered Fate. A lot of these things, these big objectives, they are about timing, and Bard gets to throw that out for a couple, I think 2.5 seconds, and then reset for some sort of reinitiation. It's cool. I mean, PWL's actually clearly brushed up on his Bard mechanics. I think the first time he picked it, he'd been playing it a bit and really wanted the champion to be good and wanted something that he wanted to play on. Now with a second play in the LPL, even just so far in the early stages of this game, improved dramatically. And I think it's something that he's very serious about playing, even though it might look silly sometimes.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. And this is something that I just always have said about League of Legends in general. There is a meta because that is what is currently strong. But if you have a champion that you excel on that is outside of that, it is actually more dangerous because teams do not have experience playing against these picks. There is no way that OMG have played against a Bard the same amount of times as they've played against a Janna, a Thresh, even a Blitzcrank, which is a curveball pick in the support position at the moment. But just isn't as explored. So when you do cool things like the first turret dive that we saw, you're just not prepared.
Yeah, and I mean, why not do it there for LGD? They've got some time. They've already made it into playoffs, secured their spot pretty handily at this point. Playing against OMG is always going to be a tough order, but if you're going to mix things up, why not test it against one of the best teams?
Exactly right, and maybe it turns into the position where you get a free ban. The last thing teams want to have to do is get in a position where they have to ban PYL's Bard because it's just not that kind of a champion where you want to have to waste one of your very valuable 3 bans on it.
And we've seen bans are pretty scarce, honestly, right now. There's, you know, some strong champions that people want to take away. Sejuani, Urgot definitely come to mind. I think Rek'Sai, Gragas under them as well. There are a couple of strong champions that people want to take away, but the meta's so open that most of the bans have been targeted. And there are the carries especially, that's where you usually want to point your targeted bans.
Yeah, exactly right. You're on a team with Imp, you're on a team with Godvi. Throw in Akon there as well. You don't want to have to throw a ban at a curveball support pick. That's just something that you don't want to have to do. And whilst it is quite a balanced meta at the moment, there's still the likes of Urgot that you just, once again, it's one of those picks. You don't have the same amount of games. You have to ban it because it's so strong at the moment. Throw in Sejuani. Even Gragas, I think, at this point is getting towards, even though not having a great game here is leveling, the point where he just does something in clearing out space around turrets that no other jungler does it. teams are going to have to start banning him as well because he makes push comps out of things that don't normally push.
I mean, I think you said it in one of our earlier broadcasts, maybe even this week, but for you, Gragas is just sort of like upgraded Lee Sin.
Yeah, exactly right, because he has the same ability to initiate from the flank without having to overcommit, which is a definite upgrade, because one of the things about Lee Sin is you can get some of these great flash kicks, but you end up in the middle of no man land. He has the sticking potential, not to mention probably better peel coming out of Gragas, so I really do like what he does. And he does something that Lee Sin doesn't do, and that's if someone is standing on a turret and you don't want them there, you just throw the barrel at them and they're not there anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, Gragas, maybe not as aggressive as Lee Sin, that's where the downsides come in, but in a world full of big tanky junglers, Gragas is surprisingly aggressive.
Yeah, exactly right. And earlier game, because of his cooldowns being a bit lower from the massive tanks, I'm looking at the Sejuanis, the Zacs, the really big tanky junglers. You can throw a Mumu in there. He'll get played at some point, I'm sure.
He's been played already. He'll get played again.
Yeah, he'll get played again. So all these guys with the huge cooldowns, Gragas has slightly less, so he can repetitively body slam. He can hit them with his barrel a couple of times and do that percentage health damage. So I really do think that we're at the point in the meta where teams are going to start figuring these champions out and use them to their strengths. And as the curveballs, they're just going to keep coming.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for all of LGD's misfortune, Ashe, mid-Riven, jungle Riven, Kha'Zix, shenanigans, there's a bot in there. You know, people I played it once, didn't get a win. Looked a bit silly.
Yeah, people thought he fell into that category that we're talking about, but now he's showing that it definitely doesn't.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about LGD mixing things up is that at this point, moving into playoffs against LGD, you don't know what's real anymore. Like, do they actually play Ashe? Does Love Misfortunes is like secretly really strong? Like, LGD have done so much stuff that's looked brilliant, silly, confusing, and just mostly wonderful, if I'm perfectly honest, that anyone's going to play them in playoffs and be like, I don't know what to do against you
exactly
anymore.
right. And, you know, we saw Curse of the Sad Bullet Time be a very real strategy in previous seasons. There's no reason that Tempered Bullet Time can't be something as well. Throw the Bard ultimate out, get Misfortune in the perfect position, then laugh your head off as you destroy your team.
I'm ready for Bard Misfortune. I mean, that'd be sick.
Well, Misfortune, the other thing about Misfortune, not a great carry, by the way. I'm not encouraging anyone to pick her up. But her damage early game, because it is so mixed, is probably unsurpassed still in regards to 80 carries.
Yeah, a weirdly good duelist is Misfortune. And again, when you don't play these champions, I mean, we know this stuff because we spend too much time thinking about the game, but these players, they got games to play. They got scrims, they got solo queue. You know, they've got lots of practice they have to put in. There's a reason they're here at the highest level. They don't have time to test all these things.
And the other thing is the difference between a color caster and a player is I definitely think about everything, whereas they actually have to do it off feel.
Yeah, they have to, you know, figure it out, make sure they got the mechanics down, and go through everything perfectly. We are going to take a quick break, though, where we do sort a couple of things out, but don't go too far over the LPL. And welcome back, guys. Apologies that we seem to have missed a little bit of the game there as we did have a slight malfunction, but everything's still going good as we actually have LG breaking the base, it feels like, of OMG. In fact, very well breaking the base. Godvi forcing the Zunders as he's hopped straight back in. Now Loveling going to find Pooh. Oh, takes a magical journey. Bit of BM there, and Bard's going to go down to Maokai. So OMG fighting back, but they did lose quite a bit of their base.
Yeah, they certainly did. They're down 2 dragons to 1 as well off the back of the last fight. So I believe they grabbed the last one, and we'll see. They didn't. So we'll see exactly what happened through here is OMG trying to push in.
Yeah, they're actually going to face tank with San here as well, but Super Minions also coming in. They can't really push out any more than this, but they're at least going to try and find some damage.
Yeah, they certainly are. So they're looking to get back through here, and we'll see exactly what they can get done. They do manage to pick up 1 turret for themselves, not able to get anything else, and we'll see whether they can maybe get some vision around to the Baron.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. TBQ popping back into the Grump, though, as let's take stock of what's happened. LGD, pretty sizable lead, actually, as we kind of look back through. Again, apologies we missed a couple minutes of the game, but next Dragon back up in a minute 30. We've got 2-1 up in Dragons for LGD, 5-3 up in turrets with the base broken as well, and Baron respawning soon. So, because LGD built up a pretty sizable lead since we've been gone.
Yeah, exactly right, and you have to think the 2-4-16 Bard might have something to do with it. PYL really making it work this time around, throwing the fact that TBQ's got a 4-2-14 Rek'Sai and is doing quite handily for himself as well.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic series, to be perfectly honest. I mean, again, we talked about it. TBQ has looked shaky at various points, but right now in this series in particular, looks absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it certainly does. And they start up the Baron. A lot of damage coming through from this lineup. You might think that there's surprisingly not that much with the Hecarim, but there's going to be a fight.
Oh, great bind there. As he coming in, the Tempered Fate as well, going to stop the move in. Actually, unfortunately, gets on to Akon, but buy time for the Baron. Loveling, though, gets into the middle and steals it. Now, Imp trying to get away, but Uzi going very aggressive, but Imp going to flash forward. Cool, though, just takes him out as Uzi gets the kill. Godby, though, still hopping around on Cassidy, pretty massive here. Cool going to try and find him. Akon ripping through people, though. Cloud will go down, and that's the rest of OMG.
Yeah, and Godby still doing damage on the back. Change Cassidy, just absolutely rips through team fights. If you can't lock him down, he doesn't have the same level of mobility, but it's just way more consistent now, which means that his damage is through the roof. Couple that with the fact that Akon had the probably best ultimate he could have held for. He held on it so long, made sure that he nailed Cool with it, and they're going to push in, probably win the game.
Yeah, game looks to be over here. Imp is dead, but it's not going to matter. They've got plenty of damage left here with the remaining members of LGD. No, actually going to pull away. Little too early. Uzi, Cloud, and Loveling all coming through with Cool. Nice early, up nice and early as well. So instead, they'll back away, portal through the base, and LGD still with a massive advantage. Don't have the Baron, unfortunately, but OMG don't have it either. They all died.
Yeah, exactly right. They got the Baron, so mission successful, but the patient died, unfortunately, so not able to get anything from there. And in the end, it might even be LGD that rotate around and pick up a dragon for themselves, so they get a meaningful objective off the back of it as well.
Yeah, nice stuff from LGD, keeping on top of their objectives. Imp gonna kind of get in there, but throw the Boomerang Blade out, and everybody takes the Magical Journey out, except Godby, because he's not a team player.
He has his own.
Instead, just Rift walks out as we do have a replay.
Yeah, so let's check out what happened in that Baron fight. You see, it's a very good stun coming through, and then the Tempered Fate kind of stops Akon, the Sato right there, and he's moving through and very disruptive. Loveling manages to grab it, and from here you feel they could have disengaged. However, they go very deep in the Baron pit, and we have some action live that we'll take you to shortly,
Yep.
but
starting a big fight actually in the mid already. It's already have TBQ going down. OMG fighting back nicely. Uzi has been popped with a Tempered Fate. Now Godby gonna line him up. Uzi tries to flash away. We'll be okay for now. Godby gets hooked somehow by Cloud, who does go into the zonies, but OMG winning through now. Managed to kill 3 members of LGD and fighting back. OMG not out of it yet. That Magical Journey somehow saves PYL, but he might still be dead. Everyone follows. Amazing bind, but he gets hit by the death sentence at PYL. He deserved better.
yeah, he certainly did. Probably deserved to live after what was a fantastic outplay. But OMG now, with 4 members dead on the side of LGD, will look to return the favor, break into the base. Really is up to Imp to stop this one coming through, but I don't think he can do it.
And insane that we were 10,000 gold behind now. OMG's still behind, but make it a little bit easier as far as the gold totals go. Only 7,000 gold now. And OMG have somehow found themselves back into the game. We've got big items coming through for Uzi. He's managed to get quite strong. Cool is massive at 9, 3, and 10. In fact, both carries for OMG are doing a lot of heavy lifting. And can they keep doing it here? Because they will, I think, outscale. It's very close, though, Spawn.
Yeah, it definitely is very close. I still think you give the edge to Cassidy and Hecarim in the late game, because Hecarim going to be able to dive onto Uzi a little bit more effectively. If Bard stops throwing the Tempered Fate at him, he'll be able to get a lot of work done in these team fights, and you feel that TBQ probably going to be a little bit more useful than the Gragas at this point, because he's just extremely tanky. Gragas has gone for more of a armor, I guess, supplemented build. You throw the fact that there's a Warmog on top of TBQ right now. As soon as he gets the Thornmail, he's a real threat to the backline.
I can see POL going to move around, ward up the Dragon, I believe, just trying to get some vision before it respawns in a couple of minutes. Tunnel's taken there as well. Lots of mobility actually on LG and the Tempered Fate. It has landed in, but missed, unfortunately. I think Cool might have been their target, but Akon, no, Cool, I believe, got the blue buff.
Yeah, I think, no, Akon definitely did pick that one up, so they're able to get the blue buff. I think they threw it at San, but they've caught maybe Loveling out in the jungle. No, Akon just wants to take his stuff.
Yeah, Akon going to find him. Lantern there as well. Loveling will take it. They're very nicely placed by Cloud, who again understands Thresh exceptionally well. LGD back in the bottom side of the map, trying to get some more work done now. Going to keep pushing, but the mid inhibitors respawned. OMG on a good place now to fight back.
Yeah, they certainly are. So maybe an evener playing field than we expected coming back into this. Magical Journey brings Akon into the lane. That's very cute. Circumvents, I guess, a little bit of a gap that they could have got exploited for. And they're going to have to back away. That everyone pulls off. They want to respend their gold. And Uzi, he's finished the Infinity Edge. He's definitely ready to fight.
Yeah, absolutely massive right now on the vein. 9-6-9. Had a pretty rough early game, but it's picked up nicely and gotten a lot of kills. that his team's given over to him. So he's ready to hard carry. He's got to position well. Godby especially is a big threat to his life, unfortunately, there as a Cassidy, but they've been nailing him with skill shots. Cloud especially somehow picked him out of a riff walk in that last fight, and if they can keep it contained, Uzi will free hit for days and kill everybody.
Yeah, he certainly will, and we see Acorn. He's another threat there, but a little bit more tanky at this point. Needs the Frozen Heart to come through, you feel, to really compete with Uzi on the backline, just because of all the added attack speed that will be coming out. So there are some answers to the OMG lineup coming through from LGD, but now it's all about execution. When you get this far into the game, everyone's got what they need to make the team fights happen. It's about how well you can actually get it done.
Yeah, and OMG's two big carries here. Cool and Uzi today with going. Absent, unfortunately, is subbing in for him in the top side of the map. We'll see what they can get done. Cloud's been amazing on Thresh so far. Even Loveling on the Gragas, setting up nicely, stealing away the Baron as well. Baron back up in a minute 15. The fourth Dragon for LGD and the second only for OMG will be back in a minute 35. Uzi's split pushing, but he can't do this for too much longer because LGD will collapse very quickly.
Yeah, they certainly will, and I want to see what his last item is because he has another dagger. I'm expecting a static shift, but Acorn, he's going in on Sun.
Yeah, going to find him there. We'll try and lock him down. Bard on the way. Looks like the team's actually trying to follow through as well. Ulti not popped for him, but Tempered Fate coming in, but a nice dodge by Sun.
Yeah, and it was maybe because he wasn't chased by Acorn. Acorn had pulled away from the, I guess, pursuit, and then in the end, Sun could juke back, and PYL didn't get anything done.
And again, one of the nice things about Bard ulti, its range pretty insanely long despite the slow missile speed there. So long-range initiation potential, but unfortunately Acorn didn't quite chase him down, and Sun kind of saw it coming because it does take a while to get over there.
Yeah, it was a little bit telegraphed. They knew exactly where the team was moving to. So everyone backs away once again, buying some items before the next major fight. Uzi actually sold the dagger, went back, picked up a defensive item for himself. Not the QSS that we're used to seeing out of Uzi, maybe preferring the Banshee's Veil here.
I mean, at this point, the CC that you can get out of, you shouldn't really be hit by. Hecarimult's annoying, but he's probably going to be on top of you anyway. Bard Bind shouldn't be a thing that you get hit by. And Rek'Sai Knockup as well, it's uncleansable. So I like it. It blocks major spells that could come through, and especially just trying to block some of the Kassadin damage.
Yeah, I definitely agree that is as long as you get rid of one of the big spells, Banshee's Veil is good. It's when it gets hit by a Prey Seeker or something like that that it becomes more of a frustrating item. But neither team really wants to fight right now. Maybe even OMG more on the front foot.
Yeah, they're playing quite aggressively here, very forward. Have 4 items on their carries here. We've got defensive item building through for Uzi. Not quite sure what Cool wants to go for as his last item, but has plenty of choices. If history has been any indicator recently, probably Luden's Echo going to be the 6th item just to round out the build. Didn't see it here from Cool early, interestingly. Went for a very traditional AP build.
Yeah, traditional AP build coming through. Acorn's been hooked.
Yeah, get grabbed up there, but can't follow through there. Very tanky on the horse as well. Frozen Heart has been completed by Acorn. Almost 4,000 health on the Hecarim right now. So that's another problem for Uzi to have to worry about in that next big team fight.
Yeah, exactly right. And he does true damage, but how many times do you have to hit the horse to put him down for the count there? And Uzi, he's going to pick himself up a sneaky dragon.
Yeah, it's the second game actually we've seen him do that.
Yeah, so he'll be able to grab that one. They did have vision of some OMG members, so they know exactly what went down, and maybe this will lead them to start up the Baron.
LGD going to think about it, but I think they see the rest of OMG, and Hecarim looking for a good flank. Acorn's actually got himself into a nice position, but OMG pinging him out. I think they know he's there. Loveland going to get lanterned away. TBQ going to come in onto Sun, but that's not the best target. Acorn going to try and find something here, but Uzi gets out of the way. Tempered Fate, though, nails him down, and they're going to try and run into Acorn. Slightly mistimes the ulti, but Godvy's still running, and Uzi somehow gets the kill onto him. Still alive on the vein. OMG peeling perfectly as Cloud gets low and falls to Imp. Uzi life-stealing away, but Godvy going to pick him up as he tries to life-steal off the Raptors. 2 kills for 1 there as Acorn's gone down. Sun maybe looking to follow, and Cool trying to get another, but Kassadin gets a double, and this might be it.
Yeah, and it's just all about the Kassadin this late in the game. His cooldown has come through finally, and they even go into Cool.
Yeah, Cool actually getting aggressed on there. Loveling going to come back in. Gets the kill into Rek'Sai. Will Cool as Imp going to chase in. Loveling very tanky, can be annoying for quite a while. And Kassadin low on health, although has plenty of mana if he wants to go back in. LGD trying to win the game, but OMG are buying a lot of time for themselves.
Yeah, and they've got their 2-wave clear champions
Oh,
up.
that bind hit onto Cool. He's forced to zone his PYL. Massive Q there into the wall. Kassadin gets an easiest kill of his life after the stasis finishes. Loveling gets chased down. Godby gets another double kill. And LGD, they've taken it 2-0.
Yeah, and they did it with no wave control. I thought it might come back to bite them. Magical journey through the exploding Nexus, and really well played out of LGD.
I mean, a great team game again by LGD. A strong 2-0 there as they move towards playoffs. And PYL, you can see him on his screen, shaking hands and smiling, and I would be too. He has just won a competitive game on Bard.
Yeah, so the 50% win ratio coming through from Bard. I'm sure he's going to look to boost that by the end of the season. And you see Imp also shaking hand there. He had a very good season in his own right as well. And LGD proving that they've got some tricks up their sleeve for the playoffs.
They do, and that's a scary thing. OMG still finding their feet, Sun having to sub in for whatever reason. Uzi looking strong in game 1, but significantly neutered in game 2 there. And I have to say, PYL's Bard, he's made me a Bard lever spawn. It was great. Even in the last fight, locking up Vayne for 2.5 seconds, that's so many missed auto attacks for an AD carry.
Yeah, exactly right. And it just allows you to position yourself around her. So able to nail her by herself means that they're just able to get the winning team fight. And I really like what happened.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some sweet ults, we saw some great play from LGD, but all in all, it was a good team performance and a 2-0 victory. Those OMG fall there in one of their last series of the LPL. Don't go too far away there. After this break, we'll bring you our last LPL match of the